not to have hair.
If I'm going to watch cartoons, my father will say, you watch Johnny's Bite.
So your father doesn't allow you to watch your cartoons. He watches Johnny's Bite.
If you go to work, I'll watch my cartoons.
Hey! Sorry, eh?
Johnny, here I want you to join the crusade. I've watched you. You know, I've watched you. Sometimes our people disagree with you, but I mean, I understand some of your approach. I mean, sometimes we take a hard bite. It helps us as politicians.
Nowadays, when I listen to you, I even panic.
Why?
Maybe, hey,
Why do you panic?
the way you, Papa, you know, Papa, what you used to fan charcoal. You've seen it,
right?
When you fan it, then the charcoal goes bright red.
This is a call for accountability.
You fan government's charcoal. It's bright red.
It's a call for accountability.
I enjoy it.
Keep it up as well.
Thank you.
Only that, like I told you, don't burn too much for you not to be consumed by your fire.
You are keeping the conscience of the country going.
I always watch Johnny's Bite.
The general watches Johnny's Bite.
Every day.
Thank you very much.
And it's devoid of insults, but straight to the point, factual and fearless.
Charlie, no be joke. The pressure people like Johnny can give you.
No.
You know, get gray hair, you go get gray hair.
I'm innocent.
And that's what I'm saying, that the pressure Johnny and his people, the pressure they can give you know, get gray hair, you go get. So your best bet is not to have hair.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hasbanallah wa ni'ma wakil. The Lord is my light, my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. Tomorrow will be a holiday, and we will be celebrating. But when you ask most citizens what exactly we are celebrating, I'm not sure they can tell you entirely what we are celebrating. So we end up instituting holidays, maybe confusing the people without explaining to the people what it is that we want the people to celebrate. And never mind that this is a country that needs money, and we are borrowing money and making a whole big fuss about how we need to quickly approve loans and all of that, collect e-levy from people, reintroduce tolls after we said we're going to cancel those tolls and everything else. There's some confusion, which is why I say the whole country looks like a crime scene, because each time we go on a holiday, we lose a lot of money. We know this. Each time people go on strike, we lose a lot of money. We know this. And yet, the things that we must do to ensure that the people get satisfied so that things are done the right way, we don't know. If you ask, if you like, step on the street now and ask that tomorrow's holiday, what is it about? Because it's, the citizens are supposed to be in sync with what is being celebrated. They don't know. You can ask 10 people, I guarantee only 1 or maybe 2 will get it. Some 10 a set, you will not get anybody to tell you what. They will tell you that we don't know what we're celebrating. Some will tell you we are celebrating President Akufo-Addo's uncles and his family. I have asked people, yesterday I asked people. So the conversations about holidays for me, I mean, we just finished an holiday. We lost money then. We have another holiday. We'll have another holiday, I think in September, huh? And then we'll have, so August we have an holiday. September we have an holiday. And then we have another holiday in what, December? What's going on? Well, I have not ruled the country before. But if the governance affects me, I will speak. But let me quickly thank Cocoa Dairy. Cocoa Dairy here. Fantastic products by all standards on the market. And we're thankful to them for helping us push Johnny's Bite. Johnny's Bite is the people's bite. So if you believe in Johnny's Bite, just go get Cocoa Dairy. For inquiries, you can call 027-444-0180. That's 027-444-0180. Visit the Facebook page, Cocoa Dairy Free GH. It's available in all supermarkets and shops across the country. It's healthy, it's nutritious, it's vegan friendly, and you can enjoy it. I guarantee supermarkets, Bachuna Total, Santex in Cape Coast, what they call Opoku Trading in Kumasi, Doom, Ernest Chemist, all of them, they have cocoa dairy, and you can get various varieties. It's good for every member of the family. You can actually use it to bake as well. Fantastic. But I still cannot understand why, because just last Sunday, our Minister for Communication, Digitalization and Innovation told us, even though the minister is a servant of us, and we didn't vote for the minister to become president or to become minister, we voted for the minister as member of parliament for the Ablekuma West constituency. We voted for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who decided that the minister should continue in the work she has done for us as Minister for Communication, Digitalization and Innovation. These days, we even say Ministry of Communication and Digitalization. We have forgotten the innovation. Now, the minister on Sunday told us that, oh, I have even reluctantly decided to. Yeah? You cannot reluctantly decide to extend, though. Because that power is not in your hand. Article 296, which is the portion of discretion in our Constitution, it says you must not use your power whimsically and capriciously. Now, yesterday we are hearing from the NIA that your 30th September deadline may not be realistic because not everybody can get their Ghana card in good time. So the question I ask is, how is it that two state institutions, two lawyers, serving under another lawyer in the same government cannot have a simple conversation as to when we can all get our Ghana card, when we can all get our SIMs registered? How is it? Digitalization, innovation, and communication. How is it that Madam Esla Osei-Kuffour speaks and then Professor Kenatefua comes to speak? And I admire Professor Kenatefua right from the National Reconciliation Commission that President Kufuor set up. I think it was the executive secretary or so. The likes of General Erskine and all of this. So I'm wondering how two state institutions cannot unite to have a conversation. Two state institutions serving under the same government cannot agree. And this is not the first time the NIA and the Minister for Communication are disagreeing publicly. In fact, the first time they disagreed publicly on this same matter, letters flew around. So how is it that same government, two key officials, top officials? In fact, in terms of levels, Mr. Kenatefua's level is not up to that of Madam Osei-Kuffour because a minister and an agency head are two different things. And the question comes, why is the Minister for Communication the one speaking, and why is Joe Anoche of the NCA not the one speaking? Is this the minister's job to implement policy, or is the minister's job to formulate policy and then allow the agency and I to implement the policy? These are questions. So now that the NIA has told us that the 30th September date is not realistic, literally, because not everybody will have their Ghana card by that time, and that they will do their possible best and put their best foot forward. What happens? Are we going to have another extension reluctantly? That's the question we need to be asking ourselves. And you see, this feeds into a conversation I've always maintained. That for almost 6 years, you have maintained people at ministries. I can tell you that some of them have lost innovation. Some of them are stuck, they are concentrated and saturated. Ideas, I've said it here before. I was insulted and called names. I have asked for a reshuffle, and there are people within the MPP who are speaking. Recently, I interviewed Dr. Engineer Kwabena Ejapong, who said that, look, the decision of the president not to reshuffle is a novelty. He said it. Dr. Nyahonya Otamakloma interviewing him, he said it. He said he's surprised. In fact, he said he was not surprised, I should say. He said he was not surprised that the president has not done a reshuffle because he cannot do it. Somebody also told me that the president knows how to hire, he doesn't know how to fire. And that is why Adwoa Safo stayed in power for more than a year, doing nothing outside the jurisdiction, dancing, laughing, and boogieing on TikTok. Parliament couldn't find her. The cabinet couldn't find her. The government couldn't find her. A constituent couldn't find her. A local station found her, interviewed her, and she was speaking slangs to us. Hopefully, she will get ex gratia on top of staying away from work and being paid, getting all the largesse of office, and doing nothing. I'm not trying to be insensitive. She has family issues. Now, if I have family issues and it's affecting the whole organization that I work with, the most honorable thing to do is to step aside. Did she step aside? Did she opt to step aside? She placed, I watched that interview, she placed the ball in the president's court and said, Mr. President, that's the president's call to decide whether I deserve the job or not. And he put for me the new, the letter of announcement for the new gender minister. Yesterday, we are told that the deputy gender minister has now been elevated to the ministry or the minister for gender role, of course, subject to parliamentary approval. This is it. So all this while, the president had to let us wait for 1 year. We complained. We paid Adwoa Safo. And Kennedy Japan has said that we spent 120,000 from the chief of staff of it was given to him to go and lodge into his account. I want the special prosecutor to take an interest in it. We don't know if it's dollars or cedis. He said 124,000 was given to him. He said it on Assassin Radio. The chief of staff has not denied it. He has not come to retract it. Special prosecutor has not asked a question. The president has said nothing about it because the chief of staff is the most important person, number 3, at the Jubilee House. There's a seat of government. So we spent all of these things, even hired a private jet. The whole chief of staff rode in a motorcade, according to Kennedy Japan, to her house. She refused to see. And we had to wait until we made the deputy come up. Now, the question is, so where was this deputy when the children, 97 pesos per primary school child, could not even be paid for them to be fed? Where was the deputy minister? And why was the deputy minister quiet? Because the constitution says you are supposed to support or assist your minister and act in your minister's absence. It's there. And I remember the vetting, he said, I will support my minister. I will support my minister. I will support my minister. Surprisingly, some of them even said that when I get to the ministry, I will go and learn and understand. So in the last, 2 years, what did the deputy learn? What did the deputy understand? Why was the deputy quiet when the minister had gone, out of the job? That's the question I'm asking. Number 2, if the president knew that the deputy is fit for the job, why did the president have to let us wait for a full year? Mind you, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, that ministerial role is a cabinet position. It carries a lot of weight. So the persons living with disability who have been sacked from the toll booths because of a very hasty decision that's been defended and in their interest and told that people were fighting at the 38 tolling points. I'm asking where the people were fighting. Today, the people living with disability were told that they will be reassigned. Have they been reassigned? It's a gender, children, social protection issue. The children who are fighting in the schools over food, it's a children, gender, and social protection issue. The caterers, soup cleaning caterers who have still not been paid, some of who are being victimized, and the letter came from no less a place than the presidency sacking somebody who had led the caterers to go and demand for what is theirs, what they had spent. They were asked to take her out of the assembly. It's a social protection issue. Then when you talk about culture of silence, they tell you there's no culture of silence. So when you say, I say there's culture of silence, say there's no culture of silence, shut up. What is that? That letter from the presidency re-entrenched what the fear is about culture of silence. And people have tried to shut me down in a very nice way. I'm telling you, no joke. So now, when I asked for a reshuffle, I remember, I think last year or the year before, I asked for a reshuffle, and I asked a simple question, because I remember that The president had a very beautiful style of appointing his ministers, announcing them. 11 January 2017, he announced his first set of ministers. And then he will call you and say, oh, Peter Duncan, he has previously worked here. This is what he has done in his life. This is what he has achieved. And it is because of A, B, C, D problems I've seen at this ministry. That's why I'm putting him there. And that's my surest bet. Then they clap. Then he goes. He gave us a very detailed background of all the people he was appointing. Then he even gave us a ministry of planning, which boss is now the boss of the National Development Planning Commission. And I asked, what was the government planning at the time? He gave us a ministry of monitoring and evaluation. And then we did one cosmetic monitoring and evaluation of the ministers. That was the end. In fact, in Parliament that day, I asked Haji Ali Mahama, I said, today you guys are going to have your monitoring. He said, I have no idea. In Parliament, when I think it was a budget review or a State of the Nation address, I was in Parliament. Now, fast forward, some of the ministers from the first term have been retained in the second term. Now, what was the measurement? What was their test score? What was their scorecard? And why were they retained? Were they retained because they are friends of the president? And he put foot soldiers asking for reshuffle now. The same people who insulted me called me anti-government and said I am a hater of the regime. The same foot soldiers, they are asking for a reshuffle. So now you know who the real anti-government, anti-haters, all of those people, you know who they are. That's them. The MPP foot soldiers are crying for reshuffle. It's on Daily Guide. They are crying for reshuffle. I said this 2 years ago. They said, oh, he is anti-government. They didn't catch the vision. Now they have caught the vision and they are crying. And you see the painful part is that they can't even suggest the names. They can't put out names for people to be reshuffled. They are all scared. They are afraid of them. So we have formed an old people's brigade around the president. When the young people in the party have no jobs, and now if you have served your country for more than 30 years and you still need to be relevant as a minister or as a board chair somewhere or something, and the young people that you encourage and engage to sacrifice, they have no work to do, you should bow down your head in shame. You have served your country for 35 years. You still want contract. You still want, appointment, extension. You still want everything else. The young people in the party who go to the grounds, who run around, they have no job to do and you are happy. You are encouraging old people's brigade around the president. An old man with old people around him. And you are wondering where our country is going now. We are in an Ajana 1, Ajana 2 situation. The MPP told us we have the men. They do, no doubt. And yesterday I played for you what the pastor said. If you have the men, you have the men, you have the men, and you don't use the right men, they will not give you their mind. He said it. You have young, energetic, bold, enthusiastic people in the MPP. Intelligent who have showed working. They have all been pushed aside. I had to stand there to advocate for some young people before they were given jobs. Why should it be so? President Kufuor, at a very young age, was given a position. President Akufo-Addo, same. Yao Safo-Malfo, same. A Greek minister, all of them. How is it that you have people who are past 60, past 70, some inching towards 80, and some even going to have a good night, and we are deciding that we will keep them in positions? So what kind of transition are we creating? What kind of mentorship are we creating? What are we doing to ourselves? Young people. Today they are crying. These same people, today they are crying. The people who insulted me, they are crying. It is good that they have come to catch the vision and realize that what I was talking about was not for my personal interest. Why? Will I be appointed by President Akufo-Addo? No. I won't. But if I won't be appointed by him, and yet I can identify people, or they can identify people who can be appointed, why are they calling for a reshuffle now? Because they have seen that at the end of Attention, that's what the president said. Attention. The dollar has broken the 8. It is going to have a good night. The pound has taken its 10. The euro is swimming. I don't know if the keys that the vice president said he had locked the dollar and given the keys to the IGP. The IGP appeared when he was leaving. Nicodemously opened the cell for the dollar to come and pass. Or whether it has broken jail, I don't know. But this is the message. Good morning.
We have a man. We have a man. We have a man. If you have a man without unity, you don't have the mind. Listen. Listen. Because if the men are there and they are not united, they will not give you their brains. The party will suffer and the nation will suffer. They will sit down and watch. They want someone to fail for them to take the baton. But you don't want to. Let me tell you, if the group fail, if the nation fail, you have failed. Maybe you called a wrong person to speak today. The Greek word for division is not what we are saying. The Greek word for division is not party, it's not groupings. It's the Greek word is you tear apart. If the party in power is not united, the country will suffer.